What are you doing here?
What are you?
Amanda, we need...
Season 3 was very much about the love triangle between Kyle, Jesse, and Amanda.
I wanted that love triangle to really drive a lot of story for Kyle over the next couple seasons.
Amanda's always represented the ideal girl next door, his first pure love, love at first sight.
It's different with Jessie because she also has similar powers and similar strengths.
See what's happening to the water? I can do that to you.
And maybe she's the only one who could be his girlfriend.
She's very complicated. You're not quite sure how to feel about her, and Kyle's never quite sure how to feel about her.
So act normal.
I can make him tell us what he's hiding.
That's not acting normal.
It is for me.
She's unhappy. She's in pain. She doesn't always do good. Even when she tries to do good, she can bring pain to people.
What's wonderful about Jessie in season 3 is you see without a doubt that she loves Kyle. She wants Kyle, she wants to be with him. He recognizes that she has this extraordinary potential. By the end, he's come around to loving her as well. So he has a choice between two extraordinary women.
Amanda.
Watching Kyle deal with the complications of having feelings for both girls who are so different and who truly genuinely don't like each other.
I'm gonna tell Kyle that I want him back. You really have the nerve to say that?
Like I said, fair warning.
But I think the triangle was dissolving. I think Amanda was puppy love and Jessie's real love.
Had the show continued, Jessie and Kyle would have had a complicated relationship.
Jessie?
Does she have it in her to be good? Does Kyle have the ability to bring the good out of her forever?
But I don't think it's ever going to be a natural fit for her. I think that Jessie would continue to struggle with some of the darker aspects of her nature. And she's the yin to his yang.
I think we would have seen Kyle and Jessie make a really good go of it.
We make a good team.
Thanks for helping.
I can't say that it would have ended well, although it would have been a lot of fun watching and really emotionally powerful.
Why didn't you tell me about Amanda?
Because I don't want you to be with her. I want you to be with me.
I think Kyle one day in his life would have returned to Amanda to see, now that they both had their own identities and their own life experiences and were grown-ups and not just innocent little kids with a puppy crush on each other.
But I think the classic hero walks alone.
Kyle and Amanda, Kyle and Jessie, when all is said and done, it's probably just going to be Kyle. And I think it's one of the sort of bittersweet tragedies of being a superhero of the soul, is that you gotta fly solo, and that's gonna be okay.
Latnock as an ideal is a good thing.
They wanted to improve humanity. That is a noble goal.
The problem always is when you have that kind of technology available, that kind of science, whose hands is that in?
The disappointing thing about Latnock is that when it all came down to it, it was about money. They had this god, so to speak, that they think they created, and they wanted to kind of sell him to the highest bidder. They sold out.
Latnock isn't planning to just stick babies in those pots. They're making clones. Of me.
The idea that Latnock traced its ancestry back to Albert Einstein, and back to Kyle's father, and back to Kyle's mother. And this is, in fact, Latnock is Kyle's family business.
So I think a great deal of season 4 would have been Kyle figuring out ways to liberate himself and expose Latnock.
Latnock is an organization that's there for Kyle to remake it if he chooses. And the question is, what is Kyle going to make out of his relationship with Latnock? And is he going to go in and take control of Latnock and bring it back to its original course?
You have to understand, you're that guy. You always have been.
We've always seen the show as the evolution of a superhero. And Kyle, when I say superhero, we talked about him being a superhero of the soul, someone who touches people's lives.
Who enable people to discover peace within themselves.
If the show had come to its natural end, our plan for Kyle was to see him go out into the world alone.
I won't be able to touch the world like Adam said if I'm not part of it.
You don't know what you're asking.
How does Kyle deal with his coming of age, coming of power?
He recognizes that he does possess these talents, these incredible gifts, and that it's beholden upon him to share those gifts.
I think Kyle would have made a pretty good go out of trying to do his good deeds, so to speak, under the radar.
You know what? Go ahead. Tell him everything. Tell him all.
One of the things we always talked about doing was having Kyle discovered by a greater public.
The minute you get into celebrity culture or people worshiping you, I think that's when people start to lose their way. And the minute that the story got out, that there's a real-life superhero wandering the earth, doing good deeds and helping people out, I think Kyle would have had a big struggle with trying to balance the scrutiny against his desire to just be a good person.
I think people would have been stunned and amazed, and he would have been a very inspiring leader.
What if Kyle did come out and become a great, for lack of a better word, spiritual leader? And his teachings were passed on for centuries after this.
It's not complicated, it's simple. I'll do everything in my power to live by the truth.
He was going to be able to do a lot of things to really change the world. Like Gandhi, you'd never know how that could have ended up, but definitely everybody would have known about him by the time he was gone from this earth.